Welcome to the Lance Wallnau Show. We're so glad to have you back again. And every time we get together, I always think about if this was the last show I'd ever do, I want to make sure that it's got something significant that is happening. And so that's going to be that way today, because we're going to be talking about something which can impact your life, extend your life, and strengthen you, because I'm all about finishing strong. The whole teaching I do on convergence, research with Bobby Clinton at Fuller, and I taught it with him in a master's degree class. And about 20% or 50% of believers end up finishing well. It's a strange statistic. But to be able to do what God called you to do, and then to be able to have the strength, energy, and stamina to stay in the zone of convergence or in the call is the challenge. Because if you get into what God called you to do, and your body goes south, the devil just took you out of your you would say your high calling. So as I'm in my 60s, I got more focused on this. And this man that I've got right now, Dr. Jordan Rubin, is going to be joining us, is the Edison, who has over 1,000 products that he himself has developed as a believer, as a Jewish believer. And I think he has a unique anointing to be able to discover and connect and to educate, like a rabbi, to help us be able to do what we've got to do. Mercedes Sparks, you put me on the Health Summit circuit. She made me do a Health Summit at the Trump Doral last month. Dr. Rubin was one of our keynote speakers, and that was when, bam, I realized, I've got a lot of doctors that are in my audience. They were all intrigued with what he was saying and his personal journey overcoming cancer and what drove him to make these discoveries. So let's welcome Dr. Jordan Rubin. Thank you, Jordan, for joining us again. Our people love you. We love you have such an interesting way of engaging a subject which I find otherwise fatiguing. Health and nutrition and data and eating. Even working out, you make it sound interesting. So I'm interested in one thing. So my notes today, my research took me into this subject. You've done biblical research on and scientific research, and found the Bible and science work together beautifully. I want to talk about the most nutrient-dense food. If there was something which you had to prioritize that has the greatest value, I don't know if it's possible to do that, but I do know that the optimizing of nutrition is what we're all focusing on right now, because of all the nutrients we're not getting, because of the way they've destroyed the ground and the land and suck those nutrients out. So even when you're eating something today, it's not what was in the earth when your great-grandparents ate it. But talk to me about the most nutrient-dense food on planet Earth.
Well, I'm going to tell you about a food that is so nutritious that every apex predator prioritizes it over any other food on the planet. I'm talking about orcas, aka killer whales. I'm talking about lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my, yes, you knew I was going to say that. I'm talking about every indigenous culture, from Native Americans who were here hunting before we inhabited America, to the Aboriginal Australians, to the Inuit in Alaska. They all prioritized the same foods that every ethnic group's grandmother made for them, and that is organs, in particularly liver. Now, anyone who's watching that is of a certain age remembers that liver was in the weekly repertoire of meals, usually with onions, and you're probably cringing because you didn't love it. If not, in the winter in Europe and other cold climates, people remember a barrel of fishy smelling oil called cod liver oil that your mom or grandmother spooned out for you when the sun wasn't shining. Organ meats, liver, and others not only provide the world's most nutritious food, and that's undisputable. It really is. It's not kale. It's not sweet potatoes. It's liver. And I'll tell you why in a moment. But every culture throughout history, every species who ate anything close to an omnivorous diet focused on organs, because it gives you the greatest amount of nutrients for your buck, greatest bang for your buck. And we today have almost universally wiped it out of our diet, and we are much worse off for it. However, there is a amazing renaissance of organs where if you go to a butcher, a grocery store, health food store, and you ask, can I get some liver or heart or kidney? They almost always say it's sold out because people are waking up and realizing that the best food on the planet for our dogs and our cats, our children, and for us is organ meats. However, they smell yucky and they taste yucky. I'm going to share with you some tips on how to prepare them and how to eat them. And I'm also going to give you a solution so that every one of you listening and watching can consume the world's most nutritious foods on the planet very easily.
That's powerful. And you know, I asked with my staff, I said, can you explain to me earlier today about hormones? And they said, ask Jordan. They redirected me to you. Because I said, if I was trying to explain to somebody the role of hormones, what happens to hormones, why hormones go off, and can you just touch on that for a moment? Because I think it falls into the category of what these glandular things deal with.
Absolutely. So glandulars and organs are synonymous terms. We have those organs in our body: liver, spleen, kidney, gallbladder, thyroid, thymus. You've heard these called glands or organs. When we consume animals, and I believe that everybody watching and listening is better off consuming some animal foods. I believe that after 25 years of research and having tried every diet under the sun to overcome my own illnesses, I'm convinced and I've concluded that an omnivorous diet is best for human beings. That being said, the organs are the most nutritious part of an animal diet. One of the main reasons is because they provide the building blocks of hormones. And when you're talking about hormones, Lance, I can only assume you mean reproductive or sex hormones, estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. You'd have to be living under a rock in America to not realize that so many people are on HRT, hormone replacement therapy, whether it's a pharmaceutical or a bioidentical compounded hormone. Why are people on those hormones? Because they want to stay younger, feel better, and have their function. Now, I said this at the Health Summit, and it raised some eyebrows. Moses died when he was 120 years of age, and the Bible says his eyes did not grow dim, and his power was with him. There's different translations, but it all meant that he could procreate at 120 years of age. Now, we saw Abraham, when Sarah died, having already birthed Ishmael and then Isaac, have more children. So we know that historically, we should have stronger hormonal health. But I heard a statistic this morning that's horrible.
I have to say, it wasn't until you said that at the summit. And indeed, there was people looking at each other. At that moment when people are looking at each other. And did he say what I think he said? But it suddenly made sense because I would always chuckle at the King James. I'm a King James student. The old King James, it's Shakespearean and regal. But the language used there wasn't his natural power. It was his natural force was not abated. And I would read that and go, and Moses' eye was not dim, neither was his natural force abated. And I'm realizing, my gosh, it's talking about his sex life. Shocking.
There you go. But listen, I don't want to get too much into this, but if you have blood flow issues anywhere, you have blood flow issues everywhere. Do you hear what I'm saying? I'm trying to be delicate. Mm-hmm. The bottom line is that the body works as one organism. It's not, oh, my toe's bad, but my ear's good, but my heart's good. Folks, we need to live a more robust, abundant life as we age. And organs or glandulars do two things for you. One, they contain a massive amount of nutrients. I'm going to list some of them. Vitamins, such as vitamin A, not beta carotene, but retinol vitamin A, that is powerful for your immune system, good for your eyes, and much more. vitamin D, which is the only vitamin that's actually a hormone that is amazing for your health. In addition, you've got B vitamins for energy, B12 for your brain, B6 for metabolism and for your skin. But it gets better. Organs, glandulars, liver is nature's richest source of iron for your blood, zinc for your immune system, skin, and prostate if you're a male.
All right, hold it, Jordan. All right, I want everyone to catch this because this is where the data dump comes from Edison. I don't want to lose this. The organ meats you're saying, particularly the vital organs, the liver and such, most nutrient-dense food available. And I took some notes here. You talked about retinol A as vitamin A, and then I didn't know that D was a hormone. I always thought vitamin D was a vitamin. E, K, B vitamins. You talked about the brain being affected by this, minerals like iron and zinc. All right. So I just had to interrupt you just because I want to make sure everybody catches this. These are all in these organs, and that's why this area of the glandular is key. So go ahead.
It's one reason. The other reason, which is so interesting, and this dates back to thousands of years of history, it's believed in Asia, Middle East, Europe, that when you consume an organ, it actually supports your corresponding organ in your body. So, for example, there are nutrients, which makes sense, in the liver that support your liver. There are nutrients in kidney that support your kidney. The list goes on and on. And if you look at any ethnic cooking, I'm Jewish as my background, but Greek, if you look at African, you look at Asian, they all consume organ meats in their traditional diets. Think of it this way. The Scottish have haggis. In Jewish, we have kreplach, which tastes as bad as it sounds. And the list goes on and on. We today in America avoid these things because they're bitter, because they don't taste the same way that chicken nuggets do. I believe if every person watching and listening would consume even a small amount of organs, of glandulars, every day or at least every week, they would have more vitality, more energy, more overall well-being, and I do believe a greater hormonal balance as we age. And as Lance said from the old King James, perhaps your natural force will be unabated because, by the way, many people I know that are less than 120 have their natural force abated. I see advertisements on TV, and this is going to be a new campaign, Lance, that promote natural force. We should coin that phrase
I agree.
As it relates to
That's right. Trump has the Space Force. We've got the natural force. But tell me, but you do the research, Jordan, and so what have you developed? Have you developed a way for those of us that don't get a hold of liver? I'm still gagging on. My mom made me eat liver. I never liked it. I like veal parmesan. Veal I like. But can you bring us behind the curtain at the Edison lab? What have you come up with to help us that we could start utilizing to supplement what we're not getting?
Okay, I'm going to give you first a dietary tip, and then I'm going to tell you what I do and what my family does and how, get this, every single member of my family consumes organs every day. I have noticed a huge difference, and I feel great as a parent that my children are consuming the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet. But first, here's this. If you are interested in sneaking organs into your daily diet, there are certain meat products that you can order or purchase at the grocery store. They will say primal blend, and it's the majority ground beef with a little bit of ground liver, heart, and kidney. And a lot of times you don't even taste the difference. You can't find it everywhere, but it's out there. In addition, you could go to your meat counter and say, hey, can you grind some liver, heart, and kidney into my beef, chuck, whatever kind you're doing? And I know this is a lot of work, but I want you to understand that diet is the key to health. Supplement means in addition to. So if you're someone out there who wants to eat organs, like your ancestors did, or like you did when you were younger, that's how you can do it. And by the way, I have a family history of organs helping save lives. I'm going to say this quickly, and then I'm going to give you how my family consumes organs or glandulars every day as promised. But first, I have on my father's side, my grandmother, who's now no longer with us, she had pernicious anemia as a child, which is a B12 deficiency. She went in the hospital, and this was it would have been the 40s, I believe, if not late 30s. She was given liver in the hospital for pernicious anemia because it is a B12 deficiency, and liver is an amazing source of B12. So that's an interesting story if you can imagine that just in the last century. Number two, on my father's paternal side, my grandfather's father went to see a doctor named Max Gerson, a German physician, for cancer. And Max Gerson utilized fruit and vegetable juices, primarily vegetables, and raw liver in his protocol. He went on to write a book called 50 Cancer Cases Cured, and my great-grandfather was among the success stories of Max Gerson. A Jewish man named Max visited a German doctor named Max and overcame cancer. So I have a history of organs saving lives of family members. How does this relate to you today? I'm glad you asked, because organs are not palatable to most people, no matter how hard they try, and most don't even bother. We created products in ancient nutrition using organs from animals that are the healthiest on the planet. Grass-fed from Iceland, Argentina, New Zealand, Australia. And we dry them and put them in capsules where we capture all of the vitamins, all of the minerals, the essential fats, and we created them in patented formulas to give you benefits such as male performance, that is energy, stamina, endurance. And here's the best of all, Lance. I am borrowing this. I am using this. This is a natural force enhancing supplement. And that's the best way for me to possibly describe it. We have one for men called Male Performance. We have one for women called Women's Vitality. Those are amazing, and they're a combination of multiple organs, vitamins, minerals, enzymes, probiotics, mushrooms, and even adaptogenic herbs, which I don't have time to tell you what they are, but trust me, they're amazing. The reason these are patented formulas, and Lance, you're going to love this, is because there are representatives from each of the 6 biological kingdoms on planet Earth in these formulas. That is an amazing message unto itself. I feel like God gave that to me. In 5th grade science, we learned about biological kingdoms. I'm going to read them to you quickly. Number 1 is animal kingdom. You're a part of it. Plant kingdom. Fungi kingdom. That's mushrooms, yeast. Bacteria, which you've heard of. Those are all pretty common. But then there are 2 that you probably haven't heard of very often. One is called protist, and one is called archaea or archae. And those 2 represent rare foods and substances that I believe were part of our daily diet thousands of years ago. And the reason we were awarded a patent is because nobody until now has put nutrients back together from these 6 kingdoms. And every formulation that is offered today, these ancient glandulars, as we call it, the male performance, the female vitality, the liver, or the multi-organ. And these are what I give my children, my wife. It's kind of funny. You all will appreciate this. My wife takes whatever is in her supplement container. Normally, that's what the guy says. That's what Lance says when Annabelle gives to him. So I'm the supplement guy in the family. So everyone takes what I put out. And so we developed female vitality and male performance so that people who are super young and passionate like me can do more with life so that people can recapture their youth, so that they can have the energy and the stamina that they need. And so when I developed female vitality, let's just say a few days later, Nikki said, Jordan, why do I have 12 brown capsules in my container every day? I said, babe, don't worry about it. Just take it, and then if I dare say that I'm consuming something that helps my natural force, I will get in trouble for that. So now we're having adult conversations here. But the point is, as your body goes, you go. The Bible wouldn't have said Moses had his eyes bright and his natural force within him if that wasn't common language. That's how you measured strength. If you're somebody, and I'm very serious, man or woman, who has your natural force abated, meaning you are not as youthful as you were, your reproductive hormones are too low, your machinery isn't working properly. That is a systemic issue. Blood flow that isn't functioning in the body anywhere means blood flow isn't functioning everywhere. And I have seen amazing results by people consuming these formulas of all ages and feeling like, in a sense, they've turned back the clock. And it's all because of the natural foods and substances that God created us to eat. God gave us the animals to eat. He talks about it in Leviticus 11, Deuteronomy 14, a whole list. And part of that food involves organs. And we would never have been without them throughout history, which is why you or your parents ate liver and onions once a week. That's the amount you were supposed to get. Your parents may not know why, and you may not have known why, but the most nutrient-dense superfoods that are the building blocks for your hormones and your immune system can be consumed every day or at least every week in liver, heart, and kidney, or if you're like me and others, take it in supplement form from Ancient Nutrition. These are indispensable products for myself, Dr. Axe, and I would near say that this would be a primary supplement or food that I would recommend as quintessential and foundational to anyone.
Absolutely. And I went elk hunting as we're doing this right now, and it makes so much sense. And I was with, and they said to me, when we're out in the mountains in Colorado, the guys that were with me, they said, actually, it was the Native Americans that had taught them that when they had an animal, they would take the heart of the elk, they would cut it out and eat it. That they really believed that the nutrients and the strength of the elk came into the warrior. And then they told me, these hunters, that they actually practice that which they've been taught, but they don't talk about it. But I said, are you serious? I thought they were like hazing me, like, you seen if I bought into it? They said, no, we believe it. So the idea of eating the heart of the elk was the warriors, and the hunter would eat the heart because the strength of the elk was still there in them. So I want you guys to all have the strength that comes with these vital organs, the glandulars. AncientNutrition.com. Use my VIP code. Get 20% off. Lance VIP. You'll be able to use that code. AncientNutrition.com. Use the code Lance VIP because you are a VIP listening to this broadcast, and you're going to save 20%. And I've given the green light on my staff to get me right away the grass-fed liver. I've got the male performance, and then I'm going to go home with the women's vitality, because Annabelle loves you, and so she's the one who turned me on to you in the first place. When I brought your name up, she goes, "Do you know who that is?" Because she's the one who's constantly giving me the health lectures. So I'm telling you, you've got something here. You've really given us a gift, my friend, this glandular nutrition, because I can't see most of my people going out there and asking for the butcher to give them some liver, heart, and kidney ground up in their hamburger.
I was going to.
But you would do it?
Well, yeah, there's a great butcher right down the road here. But I was thinking, oh, I didn't know that. I could do that. So and I thought that was a pro tip. But this is great, too. I just think, like when it comes to blood flow also, I mean, a lot of people have those like socks that they have to wear, to promote blood flow. So it's just not, for the ladies listening, it's just not a baited strength, which, you could, like Jordan's doing with his wife. I guess you could buy it for your husband and just like, hey, here you go today.
Here you go, honey.
But yeah, I think like, I was wondering, does it help with just normal, people who struggle with that, who have to wear like those compression socks? Like, will that help in any way?
Normally, when you have poor circulation, it is poor blood vitality. And what are the nutrients that make up the most important factors of blood? Iron, zinc, B12, all of these are found in the greatest quantities in liver, heart, kidney, and other organs. And by the way, the male performance has all three of those organs plus more. The female vitality, all three of those organs plus more. The reason I give my children organs is for multiple reasons. Kidney, for example, helps support seasonal wellness, believe it or not. There are certain enzymes in kidney that make you more resistant to pollen and other types of allergens. I live between Nashville and Birmingham. Nashville, the allergy capital of the world, and Birmingham has poor air quality. So my kids have had a huge difference in their lack of runny noses, their eyes watering, etc., from consuming these. And some of my children are competitive athletes, and this is the best way to boost energy, stamina, and endurance with these nutrients, and they're rare. We literally get organs from Iceland. They have these amazing sheep that are harvested and raised in a certain way. We go across the world to find these nutrients, and I'm excited that the Lance Wallnau audience gets a chance to take advantage of this. AncientNutrition.com, use code LanceVIP. You're going to get a discount, and you're going to get products that I cherish. I remember when these first came out, I called our manufacturing facility and I said, I want whatever capsules are, half full, misshapen, fall on the floor. Like, I can't even wait for this to come out. And it's no joke. If you look at my house, I've got these mason jars or these bags with these capsules because A, I don't want to waste anything. And B, I was so anxious. I'll say that in a positive way. I was so excited to get these organs as soon as we made them that I couldn't even wait to get a bottle. And I hope you feel the same way. This is truly missing from your diet. People say to me all the time, Jordan, what's the miracle supplement? What's the miracle cure? Folks, there is none. However, what is missing in your diet, you may call your miracle in the future. That's what I've learned. And I believe our ancestors somehow knew best. Orcas, killer whales, hunt sharks for their liver. Lions hunt their prey for the liver and the organs. That goes for every predator. And you know what? We're apex predators. We eat animals and we eat plants, and God said for us to have dominion over all of it. So as someone who has dominion over it, I'm telling you, this is the most nutrient-dense group of foods on the planet. And I know that everyone who orders these products from ancientnutrition.com, use code LanceVIP. You're going to thank me. And Mercedes, we talked about getting some testimonials and photos from satisfied Lance Wallnau attendees, listeners, etc. You're going to get blown up with testimonials, especially, and I say this tongue in cheek, from men and women. And listen, God wanted us to prosper and be fruitful and multiply.
Amen.
And he didn't want that to stop when we were out of reproductive age. So if you want your natural force to be unabated, you need to jump on board here. And as we said, just give your husband or wife some brown capsules, as they'll call them. Tell them, don't worry about it. Just take them, and later give them the good news.
I can't wait. This is exciting. My dear doctor, thank you so much for once again giving us, I don't understand how you do this. Every broadcast we do with them is kind of like, it's like, that's the most important one.
I know.
That's the most important one for a lot of people. This is a big deal. Now, we talked about the women's and we talked about the males, but there is a liver, right?
The organ, yeah, we don't
There
have that
is.
one here. I think we
But
couldn't.
I don't want people to underappreciate the liver promotion. But apart from these two, would you take the liver with these two?
It's in there.
Oh, it's in there.
Yeah, so if you take the male performance or female vitality, you could either do a single dose or a double dose. You're getting liver and you're getting the multi-organs. But if you're a younger person, liver is amazing and the multi-organ is great as well. That's what I offer to my family. They're all four amazing. If you are a man or a woman that, I don't want to ever use the term middle age, but if you are somebody who is maturing, you want the male performance or female vitality. But if you just want general wellness, call it God's multivitamin. The liver's amazing. So is the multi-organ. I'm telling you, if you're a longtime supplement user, you will absolutely feel a difference in days. You will absolutely thank Lance, Mercedes, me, and the team, because these are true treasures. And I really want you to eat these foods in your diet, but I know 99% of you won't, which is why we create supplements to give you the missing superfoods and nutrients you won't eat in a regular diet.
That's so good.
I want you guys to stay in touch with us when you take these products and share your testimony. Go to intronutrition.com with Lance VIP for your, I think it's like a 20% discount. Grab it. Jordan, thank you once again for just being a fount of inspiration for us. We love it.
Hey, I need to tell you one last thing. I left this out. I have a friend who is a top fertility doctor in the world, and he believes that without help, we will literally be on the endangered species list soon. Infertility is rampant. The number one supplements that my friend Dr. Kiltz recommends are organ or glandular supplements. This is a triple board certified medical doctor who has some of the most successful fertility clinics in the world. And these are the supplements he recommends to support health, even in young people. So I have to tell you that natural force being abated is a real thing, and we need to fight against that. The world is stacking the deck against us. It's time to fight back, and that's what we're doing today.
Well, I totally, listen, I not only agree with you, but I will say that these are my comments, not yours, so I'll take responsibility for them. I actually believe that the drop-off and diminishing of testosterone in men, the fertility rate of males that's diminishing in the West, in Europe, and in the United States specifically, is a direct byproduct of the kind of chemicals and stuff that is getting into our bodies, and who knows whether it's from the food or from the soil or from the air or from the vaccinations you're getting from the time that you're born. But I believe that there's an agenda to try to depopulate and curb the population growth, and there could very well be reasons why this historic drop-off is taking place. And the Bible, on the other hand, says the exact opposite is God's will. Go forth and multiply and fill the earth and replenish. That's the biblical mandate.
Amen.
And for believers to do that, we do it spiritually, but we also do it with families. And that's where we're going. That's why I want you guys to all think twice and three times, but making sure probably based on the data, you might see a younger and younger demographic wanting to take these products.
That's so good.
God bless you. And we look forward to seeing all of you. Jordan, you too, back again at another broadcast. You give us a ring when you come up with another discovery in Edison's laboratory, will you?
You'll be the first to know.
Thank you. God bless you all. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Did you enjoy this latest episode? Please remember to share it with your friends, because the more knowledge you have, the better equipped you are to navigate the world.